Gong 97.1.
Well, actually, yesterday was a day off, so where are we? I went out here. I went up to it's kind of a Snellimbis thing, an Asian Snellimbis, and there was a falafel place, and I looked at two sushi. But it's all about food on a day off because I have to eat certain times on a show day and certain things. And the first thing about a day off is I don't rush to have breakfast because I always rush to have breakfast so I can eat my second meal. And so I walked around most of the day. I bought a lot of shirts that I found these shirts that recently I've liked that are German, so I bought 12.
Okay.
And I like them. And you make a day off of it. But to answer your question, I very rarely see any of the city. I kind of did that when I was much younger. And I'm just content being in Germany. And it's one of those things that American bands always say, love your country. And I can only say that here because you cannot tell the British that you love Germany or France, you know.
Because of the soccer. So,
Yeah, all that stuff that goes on between. I don't know.
why do you like the German T-shirts? What is fine about them?
These shirts, they're called Olymp, and I bought them first in a place in England, very conservative, like, say, Hanover, in a part of conservative England, and I saw these shirts, and so I bought two, and I used one or two on stage, and I realised they're over here, and I was in Kaufhof somewhere the other week, and Olymp. So I bought, actually, in all, I bought 17 shirts since I've been here. In a month.
Okay, fine. Your current album is named Quid Pro Quo. Would you describe it in 5 words?
Extremely pacey, up-tempo rock and roll. Extremely pacey, up-tempo rock and roll. There you go.
Fine. You're still playing 120 gigs around a year, so you're not tired at all, or?
Yeah, get tired, but ever since I was young, I've always wanted this. And when I was 20-something, the idea of getting to 30 was ridiculous. The idea of getting to 40 was ridiculous. And if you'd said to me when I was younger to have 35 hits would be marvellous, we've had 60 or 70. But it's like a voracious animal. It won't stop feeding. It needs to feed. It's because it's obviously it's ego. I'm kind of shy sometimes, but I can do, hey. But inside I'm kind of shy. So the only place I've discovered, the only place I can get, or the only, is to go on stage so that I can come off and finish. The feeling when I finished a show.
It's the best.
Yes. And if it's a good show, it's even better than that. It's just, it's whether it's the fact you've achieved it again, you've done it again. I don't know what it is. And I'm only realising as I've gotten older, you know, most of us think we want to retire. Most of us think that we want to win the lottery and drink on a beach all our lives. I need to do this. And it's kind of vacuous and I think we're kind of an insecure show-off. I need to go and do it, but don't watch me. Why aren't you watching me? At the same time, it goes on all the time in here, and it won't stop eating.
Okay. You're filming a documentary named In the Moment Hello Quo. When will the fans see it?
Next October, I think.
Okay.
I think that's what they're talking about at the moment, yeah. Could be quite interesting. One never knows till it's finished.
And now you're on tour in Germany with the Hooters.
I like
What
the
is it
Hooters.
like?
I've heard about the Hooters, and I always thought they were a band from a place in southern England called Southend. And I don't really know much about them. And people used to keep telling me, in fact, for doing promo for this tour, people said, the Hooters? Oh, well, I don't know, you know. And then I would, oh, yeah, I like that. And I realised they are a truly fantastic band. And we get on extremely well with them. I haven't met such nice people in many years. And so it's very comfortable to have. However, they make it very hard work for us to go on afterwards, which sometimes is good, sometimes is not.
What was the most funniest headline you ever read about status quo?
Pop star strips on airplane. We were in Australia, and we were touring with us, Slade, Camel, and a few bands in these early 70s. And because we used to travel, you fly somewhere and you stay there a while, and there was a lot to do with, particularly us English boys, we sit around a swimming pool. So most of the time it was sunbathing. And I had these little, so you just put them all over your jeans, fly to the next place, you see. And someone had spilled wine or something over my trousers, so I took the trousers off and just had shorts. And I was nearly arrested when I got off the plane. And then they put these equivalent of the Australian FBI on the plane with us. But there are one or two others that are funny.
Is there still some song you think, okay, I'm looking forward to play that song, especially tonight?
Not especially, but I enjoy playing the Oriental for some reason. It's mid-tempo. It's very un-PC. It says things about don't bring me a Russian, I like Orientals, and all the things you shouldn't say. But there are certain... Can you smell food? Oh, fantastic. There are certain points in the set that you need to get to, and I'm kind of comfortable now. There's a track on the new album, three tracks that we do. One is the first single, which was Rock and Roll and You. For some reason, it's one of the songs I enjoy doing most of all that I've ever known. I don't know why it's so good. Yeah, it's got all these. And there's another track of mine and John's called Two-Way Traffic, and I have extreme difficulty doing it. It's kind of one note and no breathing, so I kind of don't look forward to that because it's hard work. But generally, it's like now, I've been here all day, which we always come in early, and breakfast early, and after day, and then sound check. Now I start to get, I want to do it now. I'd like to do it now. Can I do it now? Can I do it now? Can we not do it now? Can I go on now? And there's always a point, and today's gig was nearly cancelled because there's a problem in the venue. They didn't have the things we asked for. And Rick and I were like, I have to cancel it. And when they cancelled, you go, yes, it's cancelled. But then what would have happened is we would get to this time of day, it would be announced, and we would leave. Yeah. And then when you get up maybe 50 miles away on the bus and you're travelling, you suddenly get this feeling, I would love to have played tonight. So it's almost like the child that he doesn't know what he wants. Okay. I don't want to play, I do want to play. Don't look at me, why aren't you looking at me? It's all the time, and it drives me insane.
After all the years together as a band, how would you describe your relationship between each other? Long-time marriage, best friends, or colleagues?
All of those.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a family, and as you know, with families, you're very, very close, and we'll kill somebody if they touch anybody. But also, we might kill each other. It is very, even with the crew, they're all the same people for a long time. That lady's been with us 14 years, and so it can be truly wonderful. But equally, it's the whole thing of relativity. If it's going to be really, really good, there's going to be the other side, and that's what seems to happen. So we are colleagues, we are good friends. And there are times we don't talk. But we're lucky nobody hits anybody. Other bands,
Fine. What was the last CD you listened to in private?
What, you mean recently? What I listened to? Yeah. You won't like this.
What was it?
Pavarotti's Greatest Hits.
Yes.
Oh, I love Italian opera, yeah. I grew up with Italian opera. My parents loved Italian opera. I grew up with an Italian family. And I love to hear Che Gelida Manina, Nessun Dorma, all that shit. I just love that stuff.
Also good.
Maybe I like Muse too.
Okay. Also good music. Is there any difference between the German fans and other countries who named about the US stars saying, well, Germany is so fine?
Germany are probably better than Americans. I think the best are the French. Okay. Because the French don't drink too much. The English drink too much, so they don't even know if they've seen it. The Dutch can do that sometimes. Okay. The Deutsches, I think, are good, but they vary. There is still East and West. I don't care how long that wall has been gone. You know when you're in the East, you can feel it. You used to be able to feel it years ago, but you can still, even though you know it's not like that anymore, you can still feel the so. It was funny because when we first started playing more and more into the East. Maybe 5, maybe 10 years after the wall came down, you could sense that place like Rostock, I remember Rostock and Magdeburg, and the audience like that. We've never had chewing gum before. We got gum. Everybody is. I used to find it fascinating, and I noticed this time we played Rostock, they were much more than they were, say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago. They would be very. Huh? So you'd be in Deutschland, very efficient, the Deutsches, and then go to East Germany, and that one's not being rude, it's just kind of, and I don't know what it is, I still feel the East.
Okay. We found, as you have seen, an old Metal Hammer magazine interview, and there you tell that you have too many blue jeans, 400, I think. And are you still a jeans fashion victim, or just the German T-shirts now?
No, I just I wear black jeans now. I've worn black jeans for a long time, and I don't have any blue denim at all. It's a bit sad, really. I don't know, and particularly if I look at us in the 80s, my God, it'll make you feel sick. But look, those two are drunk.
What do you think when you see these pictures 25 years old?
I think of an English expression called dickheads.
Okay.
I don't mean penis heads, I mean stupid dickheads, just being stupid. And I find that I still find that a lot of people do that. A lot of people read back to these magazines or read back to 70s magazines and must have been fantastic. No, it was just another decade. Everyone tries to pretend, and I think lots of young bands, they read that stuff and forget that it's PR. Everyone imagines that you crashed a car in a hotel or wrecked a room in a hotel, and everybody said, goodbye, status quo, fantastic, come again. They didn't. You paid for it in the morning. So this whole myth about rock and roll, wild, rebels and bandits is not true. In the morning, you pay for it. Now, if you used to be rock and roll, go home, throw your TV out the window, go down the store, buy a new one. Be rock and roll. It's bullshit, sorry.
That interview was because of your silver stage anniversary. That means that next March you have golden stage anniversary. Are there any special plans for that?
No, I hope not. I hate that shit. I do. I hate all that anniversary stuff, but I understand. You know, it's very interesting. I've grown up in show business. Yeah. I started when I was 12 with Alan Lancaster. And so lots of things you begin to do, and initially, particularly when you're younger, I'm not going to do, and you are. You asked me something. What is the question?
Is there any plan to go to the golden anniversary?
So over the years, various people, you take a band. If you and I were managing him as a band, what are we going to do with him? We need to, how long has he been together? 50. Let's do an anniversary concert. Good. Then let's do another anniversary in 10 years' time. We've had so many. Anniversary of when the band was formed for 62. An anniversary from when we met Rick in 65. An anniversary from 67 when Rick joined. An anniversary in 68 for the first hit. So the idea of being together for 50 years, well, I don't know. I'd rather not have an anniversary and let it just go by. I notice as well, lots of other older bands don't mention it. We're always saying, look how long we've been together, and they're all going, don't say that. So it's just different bands, and it's show business, remember. It's not true.
Last question from my side. Is there any German... okay, 4 more? Oh, okay. Is there any German you can speak?
No.
Nothing?
No. Like what? What do you want? You know,
just try Drei im Weckler.
Drei im Weckler, easy.
It's very fine. A sausage in a bread. It's the best thing.
Three what?
3 sausages in bread. It's a specialty in Nürnberg.
Gong 97.1